going on, everybody? Core Conversations for Tuesday. We got Dad Goals as always, and we are welcoming you to join us this week to just chop it up with us today. So thanks for joining us, and we're gonna get this going right about now. Hi, Shanti. Podcast. How are you today? Hey, Stefan, what's up? Seeds for Greatness. I see you're keeping Anita accountable while she's on vacation. It's funny. Get her doing them push-ups. All right. Yes. Andrew, what's up? Drew's doing good. Healthy by you. What's going on? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a good weekend, good Father's Day weekend. Yesterday's conversation was supposed to be a conversation about Father's Day in retrospect, and I had Yan come in and we had a conversation around yoga and Pilates. Yes. All right, Drew, we'll get you back in, man. Definitely definitely get those going again. I have an idea for you too, Andrew. So let's talk offline about that. What else is going on here? Madison, long time. Hope you're doing well. How you been? These conversations are really have been special for me. I have to say that even on days when we don't have anything planned like this, conversation this year was rich. Like, I challenge every one of you. And I don't have that many Pilates people in the space right now, but like, if you are trying to build a community around anything, even like Andrew with your facility and all these different things, all the things that you're working on, you're doing a masterful job of building community around the restaurants and the tournaments and stuff like that. Like, there was an element yesterday of building community that really speaks to me. Saltic was in the chat. What's going on? I see you. Celtic was in the chat yesterday. We were talking about this and how there's one thing to build technical expertise and build yourself up as an expert in one technical area. There's another thing to get followers, to get community, and to throw this wide net. So tell me what you guys think about that. And the reason why I say that is you look at what happens in the yoga community, how there are yoga in the park and yoga with music and this and that and the other, and people just jump in wherever they're at, low threshold entry, they're in, and then there's the masses. And then you have something like Pilates where you have a space and you have equipment. And as much as I want to do like Pilates in the park class, I know very few people who are doing that really well. Pilates Buffalo Pilates Lab are doing it. Maybe some warmer climate people, but Buffalo has a similar climate to Toronto, and they're doing it well. Not too many people got that down. So what is it about that element of building community around your craft that Yan is doing and is a part of in the yoga space? Even though he's a Pilates instructor, owns a studio, he's doing it over there, and he's drawn to do more of it over there than to build that around the Pilates space. So I was challenged by that yesterday, and I hope that some of you were as well, to think about with intentionality, how are you doing your work, and what are you doing to build community around your work? That's the bigger question. So let me throw that out right out the gate. How do you build community? And if you want to join me on screen, more than welcome to do so. But that is a question I have. And Saltuk, you were here yesterday, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. You were here yesterday, and you heard the conversation, and he was dropping knowledge. He's so eloquent with it. And I was like, man, we could do more. We could do better. I liked the challenge. What's your thoughts? How do you build community around your thing? Madison, what are you doing now, by the way? Just out of curiosity, business-wise, what's going on? Phil, I don't know if you're free to come on. What sales in what industry, Madison? And then also, Phil, I'm gonna read your comment. Same thing that allows you to do this every day. Some people are more passionate about certain things and see the purpose and that affords them the endurance to remain consistent. Okay, so I'm just gonna screenshot that right there. That is exactly it. The endurance to remain consistent. That's definitely a piece of it. Night Hustler, what's going on? It's funny you say that remain consistent part, because it's like I can't tell you how tired I am today, and it's all good tired. It's like basketball Friday night, Saturday night. Friday night, and then my son had a birthday party, so I had to go to almost Toronto to pick him up at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, and then all day Sunday we're at a tournament. So it's not like I had a weekend. How many of you had a weekend that's so busy that you can't wait for Monday? So that's where I'm at now. So you feel it, but at the same time, I want to be here. I want to have these conversations. This is so ingrained in the fabric of what my week looks like. It's an autopilot. I'm out here and we just do this. So there is an endurance, a passion, a consistency that comes. And I'm not saying this for a pat on the back, but to say that it didn't cross my mind to cancel today so I can crash. I have a few clients that canceled actually, so I could legit just not do anything till 1:30 until you guys join me for my online Pilates class. But I'm here. That's what we do. And you also all do that in your specific areas. Let's see what Matt's saying. Working in safety and industrial sales at a local wholesaler. If you remember Mike and John. Yes. Oh, very cool. Please say hi to John. I used to train John and Mike actually. And Thomas, your son. Very cool. Yes, please say hi to them for me. Well, Seeds for Greatness, that's what you do, man. You're out here, you don't have to make another t-shirt if you don't feel like it, but you do, right? You don't have to do another post, but you do. We all do our thing. Madison, also while you're doing your thing, yeah, those workouts were fun. Do you have anything, what other side hustles do you have going on? Or anything else going on? And also, Patricia, how are you? Let's talk more about the endurance thing. The endurance and consistency is a key part of it. And I think that is one of the things that we've really nailed down here in this space as well is Andrew does a great job of building community because he is consistent with the way that he puts out posts and the way that he connects with people and the way that he just offers certain things. There's a consistency to what we do that builds a community because people find that there is, I was going to say safety, but I think even more so than safety, challenge me on this, predictability. People get used to the rhythm and the cadence that you do things. There's a predictability to it. So I've been in situations where I want to do something and then I'm like, I don't muster up the courage. I'm like, you know what? That's coming up again next Wednesday. Next Wednesday I'll do it. You know what? They've asked this every single week. Next week I'm going to do it. And it's not a procrastination next week. It's like I can give myself one more week to mentally prepare for this and then do it. I know myself enough to know that there have been times when I could look back when I said, okay, next week I'm gonna do it, and I did it. And it wasn't that kind of like, let me just brush it off. It's like, I'm still just kind of getting myself hyped up to do this, and then next week is gonna happen. And you do it and you feel good about it. Giving people that opportunity through the consistency of your actions, through the predictability of your actions, allows more people to come into that. How many of you have watched core conversations for months before you decide to finally type something in the chat? Or decide that, he's doing a freestyle, I'm gonna press that request to join button and jump on screen with him today. I've been watching for months and now I'm doing it today. I think that part of what we do is building that community, is building that consistency, building some kind of consistent flow to it so that people can find their opportunity to get into the flow. Thoughts? Hello, sir. So getting into that flow with that consistency is so cool. It's so key. I'm doing good, sir. That was a good chat last week, which one we were in when the person was talking about selling their studio and making those transitions. I can't remember who it was. Do you remember who that was? I can't remember. Who was it on? I can't remember. Was that when Misty was on? We were in sometime last week. It must have been, it was a Tuesday, and we had Miss Lynn Cotton came in early, and it was whom? I can't remember who it was. My friend from Canada. Oh, Kara. Was it Kara? Brooke. No, okay, Brooke is actually, she's in North Carolina. Brooke B. Tyler. Yeah, so she's in North Carolina, actually. Asheville? Yeah. She's, you guys should connect too. She's a crazy mover. She's such a great instructor. She's doing some good work. She's doing some really good work. So, yes. That's an interesting journey too for her to just see how she's gonna carry that out, because now she's lost her physical space and is gonna rebuild another version of community. So I mean, we're talking about building community and how we build a community. The way you do it with your teachers' retreats, right? Like you build community around something. And so here's the question for you all. If you write in the comment section, what communities are you building right now? If you're not building one, that's fine. But like, if you have something where, like your teacher training community, or if you're in a different industry where you're trying to gather people, even on your digital community, around your social media, around something supporting or a weight loss challenge or whatever it is, what communities are you building right now? Let's talk about that. I just really enjoyed the chat yesterday, and it's forcing me to think about those things. And one thing to build this digital community, which we've done with Core Conversations, but what am I doing physically? Like, and that was my challenge. Locally, what's going on, and how am I building a physical, in real life community as well? You could be building a digital community or in real life community, but what are you doing? Let's talk about it. Reading Emmy's comments here. Yes, I love what she did with her post-grad courses. Yeah, she's She has some fantastic students. She has her Chinese medicine as well as another kind of module in terms of the health and wellness perspective that she brings to the table. So it's pretty cool stuff. Love that dynamic of having, hi Anita. Having both elements there. No pun intended. All 5 elements, like spectrum. All right. Yes, so that's what's up. What communities are you building? What community are you building right now around your space? And some people here are not Pilates people. It could be in whatever industry you're in. Are you building some community? Second part to that is, are you part of different types of communities? So, in the same way, thing was, hey Roxy. Roxy, if you want to join me on screen, I was funny enough to show up. I was going to talk about your quote today. That's part of what we're doing later. So, give me a thumbs up if you want to join me later, if you want to figure that out. But that's going to be the second part of this topic for our conversation today. But right now we're talking about community. How we build community, what communities you're a part of, and those are 2 parts to the dialogue. If anyone wants to join me on screen right now, give me a thumbs up, request to join, and then you can jump on and we can talk about this community piece. And I mean, you weren't here for this part, but we were talking earlier about the fact that this Pilates instructor, classically trained, has a studio, is also in the yoga space. He's saying that it's so much easier to build a community around yoga. It's easier to just gather around it, and it just grows organically. And even though we have mat Pilates and classes, to build a massive yoga space is a lot easier than to do it, right? So yeah, so anyway, so if you're on the road, it's all good, Roxy. You can just chime in later when we get to that part about the ask. But yeah, so the yoga piece, I was just thinking about that, and how do we do that? What does that look like? I didn't say this yesterday, but this is my piece on it while you're just putting your comments in or requesting to join. One of the things I did was I had classes on the schedule at community centers. So as much as I charge for my private sessions and semi-privates in my space, I also want to have something which is like a low price point for everyone to get in, and to make it accessible for people, so they can they can drop their kids off, they can come, they can leave their kid at home for an hour, pop into the class and go back home, and not be a massive commitment time-wise, commitment month over month sort of thing. They could just jump in whenever they want. And people were going on a consistent basis without having to commit to going on a consistent basis. That seemed to work. Had to drop that once I started my campaign. So, maybe I'll get back to it, maybe I won't, which is kind of sad. But it was the closest I came to having a sense of community where people were investing something too. Like, I don't know if I'm in love with free classes. I can't say I'm in love with those, even a donation-based class sometimes. Even a nominal investment is an investment in themselves. That's a piece that people miss, and that's my old separate soapbox about paying for stuff. I'm investing in myself when I give you that money. And if it's free, then it's easy for me to cancel because there's nothing lost. If it's free, then I might not put as much investment in making sure that I get something out of it. A friend of mine in the counseling space would say he's a lot smarter at $80 an hour than he is for free, because people will come and ask him questions. What do I do about this? What should I do about my kids? What should I do about my marriage? I can give you advice. Or if you paid $80 an hour, $100 an hour, or like my clients, $200 an hour for a counseling session, you might be more apt to listen to what I have to say and put it into practice because you don't want to waste your money. That's a separate soapbox about pricing, but I feel like that's another part to it, having these classes where it's a low enough threshold that they can come in, but not so cheap that they don't feel like they're investing in themselves. Amit's comment is, it's easy to build community around, the first comment was, I think a lot of people come to yoga for the quote-unquote lifestyle. Yes. So that was said yesterday too, and I didn't go here, but I'll ask you all in the chat, is there a Pilates lifestyle? Or is Pilates just an exercise method? Because that was what was said yesterday too. Pilates is an exercise method. Yoga is a lifestyle. Is there a Pilates lifestyle yet to be integrated into this mix? Or are we stuck with it just being a modality? Because if that's the case, there'd be no CrossFit. Because CrossFit's a modality. It's just it's time under tension, it's intervals, it's high intensity interval training. But there's a community around it. So it's a methodology, but there's a community around it. So why is there not the same community around the Pilates space that there is in the yoga space? Or maybe there is, but just not as vibrant. Let me read Ami's second comment here. It says, so it's easy to build a community around it. People stick around for the smoothie. People like to come to retreats. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, like, that's true too, right? So, I mean, why can't I do Pilates and pizza? You know, come on over and have a pizza after a Pilates class. Like, Pilates and whatever. Like, I used to do that. Like, why are we even joking about this? I actually used to do that when I was doing classes. I used to do twice a year. I used to do a pie and lattes. You know that meme Pilates how they said pie and lattes? I actually did a pie and lattes day twice a year at the community center, and people loved it. It was like a potluck dessert after class, like a Christmas and a one time like September or welcome back type thing. So that pie and lattes day was the thing that I used to do. I think it's time to do another pie and lattes day. The peaceful, Helen's Hayes comment, the peaceful, more feminine aspect of yoga appeals to many, me too, and Pilates can seem quite esoteric. True. Fit Club Pilates, that's awesome. Healthy Body, I do Pilates and Prosecco the first Monday of the month. There you go. That's community right there. So Pilates and Prosecco. Yes. What's going on? There's a comment here about the connection. How's the connection from my side? I have the 2 bars and realizing that it might not be a very strong connection. Yes. Okay. So, hi, Alex. How are you, love? So, Amit's comment is, it's interesting to note that we, Pilates teachers, struggle to create a community of teachers. Okay, cool. Let me bring Stefan on. Pilates with Anisha, what's going on? I'm going to bring on Stefan in here. What's going on, my friend?
Yo, good morning.
Good morning. I feel like caller number 3 is on the line. What's your comment?
Hey, man. Love what you're doing, brother. I just keep it up. It's so great.
Thank you.
Okay, I got to go somewhere where it's not so loud here. Hold on a second. All right.
Okay. I'm going to read a couple comments while you're walking here. So Fit Club Pilates says, I do a BYOB once a month. Bring your own bud. There you go. Amit saying, so it's maybe not so maybe it's not too surprising that we're focusing on creating a community of clients, because this comment earlier is about we're not that great at creating a community of teachers, which I think is a good comment. I want to circle back to. And lastly, Lisa's comment here is so true. I wish I had a community of teachers to talk to, or that were more open to it. And so, I've tried that around here too, and it seems like people are just too busy, like, to make that a priority, but I don't know, that's the thought, but we'll circle back to that, because I think that's a good point, and Lisa. And actually, sorry, the other thing too, my wife is on here, and she's like the master of like the ideas when it comes to like
stuff like that. She'll be like, "Oh, you know what we should do? We should do a," and she'll make up some fancy name and make up an event and stuff. So I'm sure that now that we're having this, there'll be some ideas that are going to come from her around that. So and healthy by use. That's what I love about being part of PBTT or Pure Body Teacher Training, a beautiful community worldwide. And that's true too. They do definitely have a great community there, like from Jamie to Sweden and to people in Detroit and Texas and all over the place. So good stuff. So what's going on, man? How you been?
Very well, very well. Blessed, appreciative, just everything, man. Just really thankful. Yeah.
Nice.
How about you? How are you been?
I'm doing good. I like the conversation that we were having yesterday around community, and it just once again caused me to just focus back on like why is the yoga community so easily building community around their events and socials and stuff like that, whereas Pilates it seems like it's a little bit more of an uphill battle to get that same rich level of community, right? Like, I mean, it's just a different beast, right? So like I've just been thinking about that, and I wanted to throw that back out again today for people to talk through. Um, yes, and Lisa's saying she's loving that background. That's
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
right, as opposed to my cinder block wall behind me. Thank you. Nice. That's awesome. Nice. So
Well,
you're
that's
just
a
like,
good question. Yeah. Yo, what's
what?
up, Dia? This is my one of my good friends out of LA, Dia Fountain.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to the Core Conversations in out of Canada. Is that right? Toronto,
Yeah, just outside. I'm in Mississauga, outside of Toronto.
Canada.
I
Awesome,
got. I
man.
always got to. I always got to give a shout out to Mississauga. I got to put Mississauga on the map, not just Toronto, because like you got to represent your
Oh yeah.
city well.
You know what? You got yeah. Let's get it right. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, nice, nice. So what's going on with Seeds for
I'm
Greatness?
interested to learn a little more. We got a pop up this Friday.
Okay, good.
My first pop up, and the purpose for doing this pop up, of course, we want to get our our product out there. Shirts and hoodies and different line. But my real intention behind putting this pop up is to get in front of people now,
Yes.
because I realized that uh, this clothing line, because it has a message that comes with it, it's important to go out and evangelize, like really like what I'm about, so people can
Mm-hmm.
really connect with what we're building here, and like you get some core conversations about Seed for Greatness going, and help build something special that people can identify with, and look good in too. They gotta look good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Okay, so for those who are they see your handle Seed for Greatness, can you just share real quick what the vision is for it and what you guys are actually doing with it, just so people can get on board?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. Yeah. So uh, the basis of it is about self growth, self development. All right, building up our personal view of ourselves. In short, really emphasizing doing the things that we need to do to continuously love and appreciate ourselves, so we can share that with everybody else. All right. And the
Nice.
clothing line, the way I have the logo laid out with the seed going into the brain, that's because that's our thoughts. That seed coming out of the brain, that's our thoughts. And our thoughts move us, right, in the direction and the things that we're thinking about. And that could be both positive and negative. So when we really understand how powerful our thoughts are, we can change our behavior and actually change our future as well. So investing in ourselves is really, really important, because we got so many things in this world that are pulling us in a negative direction, and
Yes.
we have to be really sensitive to it all the time. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's
It's great.
a mission that I'm personally living out, because I go through it too. Like, just putting this out things have come at me, and I realized like, okay, this is gonna be part of what I need to go through because it's like always gonna test me now, like how
Yes.
serious am I about this? And so I know
Yeah.
like, all right, this is a good thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great, and I think that that's definitely needed. And one of the things you just said there that kind of ties into what I was going to talk about next was positive thoughts. Right now, positive thoughts are key, but and then there's not even a but there. So positive thoughts are so important. Believing in yourself is important. And now one of the posts that I put up real quick that Roxy had put up was a quote from her podcast where she was saying, like, why not ask? And Roxy, if you could help me with that, just like in the comment section, if you could just expand on that. But the point that resonated with me with that is that if I'm going to ask someone for help, I don't ask them if I don't think that they can help me. I won't bother asking. This is me personally. I'm not going to bother asking if you can't help me. I'm not going to bother ask if I think I'm going to get a no. I'm not going to bother to ask if I don't ultimately believe in my own vision or believe in what I want to do. So when I believe in myself, then I'm more apt to ask someone for help because I believe in the vision. I want you to believe in the vision. Therefore, I want you to help me. You follow that line of thinking?
absolutely, yeah, yeah. You know,
So,
I'm okay. Keep going, Martin. Yeah, keep
yeah,
going.
no. So I'm just thinking out loud because I mean, there's certain things that like I'm working on right now that I need people's help with, and I could sit here and sulk and get stressed out and all these different things, or I could actually ask for help. And but asking help means humbling myself, and also asking for help is going to be most beneficial if I come from a place of confidence that this is what I want to do and this is where I need help. This is where you can help me, right? Come alongside me in my vision, right? So I'm talking around my election, but I could have been talking around my business. I could be talking around getting a new client. I could be talking about whatever it is. Have the confidence in myself when I ask so that they'll be as excited about me in the opportunity.
Yeah, wow. I hope people are listening to this because we so certain people when they ask for help, that that can mean different things. For again, certain people will exhaust themselves in doing all that they can, which I think that's the way it should be. And then when you get to a point where you're not able to, you know, put together that thing or finish that thing that you're working on, and you need someone else to come in and, you know, help complete that, that's different than
Mm-hmm.
you saying, well, I just don't know how to do it. I need to go out and find someone to do it. Okay, yeah, but have you tried everything you could first?
Yes.
And if you've done everything you could, then that's God letting you know, like, yeah, you know, it's time to
Mm-hmm.
go seek out someone else to complete you. But
Right.
if you haven't done everything you could do, then you may be missing an opportunity to learn and grow in an area. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
is it a fine line? Yes, but we always gotta, or at least me, I always have to say, okay, let me see how far I can go till I get to a point where it just doesn't make sense. I have to bring someone in now because
Yes.
now this is not my expertise anymore. You know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And here's the layer of it from Roxy's post. Ask for the opportunity. Ask to be on that podcast. Ask that client to tell their friends. Ask if a company needs your service. The worst that will happen, they will say no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it goes back to that thing, kind of like we're all afraid to, you know, fail, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where the that's where the growth is. It's so uncomfortable. I mean, I don't care what age you are, it's just really uncomfortable. But man, if you can just get to that point where you're like, you know what, this is where I'm going to learn at. Let me just throw it out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Roxy's second part of that comment was, but if they say no, you can be planting seeds. They may remember you, refer you, You don't know. So
Yeah.
many of us assume that it won't happen, so don't ask. Right, exactly. That's where I started. So I'm guilty of that too. It's like I'm not gonna ask because I assume no, and I've learned over the years to do that. And it's so funny, I've come so full circle with this, and maybe like from like training trainers back in my last career, or last job, and even now, I almost train people to chase after that no, get it out of your system. Maybe even get 2 or 3 no's before you give up. You know what I'm saying? Because like once you get used to that, you're not afraid of it anymore, and then you start to find ways to build value instead of just get one no and be like, oh, okay, and then sulk and go back in your corner. You know what I'm saying? So there's something about like getting that no. So I mean, I found that when I'm doing some canvassing now and I'm talking to people, and someone's like, I'm not into politics, boom, they slam the door. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I got that no out of the way. Now let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the worst has happened. Now I can move forward without fear of the worst happening.
Wow. Man, I commend you. That must be interesting. Must be interesting to go through what you're going through in politics, because yeah, I'd imagine like in the beginning, because people don't know you, you're getting a lot of hesitance, right? A lot of obstacles. I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, yep, yeah. You do, and not to play the politics side as much as the principle of putting your neck on the line with an idea.
Yes, yes, brother. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is your corner now. Talk to us. How's it feel to put your neck out there and get it
It's
stepped on? Low.
exciting, man. Like it's exciting. Like I think that uh, there's that challenge, and like Roxy said here, like whether it's asking for opportunities, ask to be in a podcast, get those referrals from your friends. Like it's what I'm doing. I hope that people see it as you can just like sub out what I'm doing, sub in what you're doing. Like you're doing a pop up, you're doing your first pop up. Like you can do that, and you can. This is what people do. You put that out there, but then you don't let as many people know as possible in case it's not as good as you thought. Or you can go big with it right out the gate, right? And tell as many people and tell them to tell their friends and whatever it is. Do you have enough confidence to go out with your vision and make it big, right? And
Mm.
ask for help and ask for those opportunities. So I don't know, like I'm not that I'm playing down what I'm doing, but I want people to hear what I'm doing, much like this guy yesterday. I heard what he's doing, and when I sub in what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, okay, so there's some principles here I need to latch onto. So a little bit of a lag there.
Oops. So sorry. I think we got a bad connection. Are we still here,
Yeah,
Martin?
I'm back. I think. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Some of it broke up, but I think I
Yeah.
caught the majority of what you just said.
Sure.
Yeah, so the principles you were talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Holding on to those principles.
yeah, man. So check it out. I'm learning a lot from you by watching you put together your campaign and your core conversations, because I see how you're tying this into your overall vision, and I'm doing a little bit of the same. I'm not running for
Hmm.
mayor, but I kind of am,
Yes.
because the way I want people to know it, I have to run in a certain way where I'm not throwing it in their face, but I'm laying it out where they see it frequently. They
Yes.
see it frequently, and then if you see it enough, now you can decide like, okay, well, why do I keep seeing this? What's
Hmm.
this thing about?
Right.
And so I'm learning like you don't have to talk somebody into something good. You don't have to like sell them per se. Just
Hmm.
if it's good, just put it out there, plant the seed,
Yeah.
and see who wants to eat the fruit.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, Roxy, give me a thumbs up if you're free to join us on the screen. That'd be great if you could. Um, yeah. So that's exactly it. So and also the parallel too. when I said, like, you know, you're doing something global and doing something hyper local, you're out here and you do like your lives and you're doing like these shared workouts and you're doing all these things in social media and getting people recognized the Seed for Greatness name. But then also you're doing a pop-up locally, and then I see you like hang out with like a local martial arts guy, and like you're getting into like, you know, fitness, like things in your immediate area. So I love that balance of doing something for your immediate like tactile community and also for the global community like online. So like I think that both of those pieces are key elements, and I see you're doing that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing some similar things to what you're doing. So one of my goals is to have relationships here locally. You know, the right relationships, of course. So that's
Yes.
why I do the trash cleanups,
Mm-hmm.
because I actually want to know more about my community and the people and what I can do for them by just supporting them, not necessarily, hey, you know what, buy my clothing line, blah, blah, blah. No, just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
let me just support you and get to know each other. And if, you know, you want to buy something from me, okay, great. But if you do, you're going to do it more so because you know, you got to know me and what I stand for.
Yes.
And that'll be more powerful or long lasting than me just trying to sell a shirt. It's the message along with the product.
Yes.
Um,
You
and
got a
yeah,
shout out right
locally,
there.
yeah, man, yeah,
A
it's
long way from the
different.
block.
Oh, Anthony, yo, man, welcome. So all these guys that are coming on, these guys are part of my network, which I've been
Okay.
telling them about you. I'm
Nice.
glad they're supporting.
There you go.
This is great. Hey, you got an international audience, man.
Right? That's what we do. So I love that, man. I love the fact that we're walking. Yes, peace. I love the fact that we're walking with that. And I like to think that many of the people who are watching this or watching the replays and stuff like that are just like, okay, we're all going on the same path, right? So get it. I like that.
Yeah, I think with social media, um, it's so uh, how can I say? People are thinking like, because I can reach out to someone across the globe that I can like have this big business that goes like all around the world. But if you have something in your area that can fill a void and fill a need, like solve a problem,
Hmm.
um, I think it's really important if someone wants to do this is to figure out how they can tap into their local area, because if you can build a base of followers in just in your immediate area, people forget. People travel so much now that you don't know, like,
Yeah.
if your people from your local area are gonna like go out to another state or another country, and then someone from that country happens to be from that same area, and they're like, oh my god, you know
Yeah.
what, I've seen Seed for Greatness, you know, at Mission Beach, and dude, I can't believe you have that shirt. Oh, you know, I love the message. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly.
they connect, right? They connect.
Right.
But it wouldn't happen if you don't make the effort in your local area to get to know people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
get to know people.
Get to know people. I love what Roxy's saying about asking to be on podcasts too. Let's talk about that for a second. Because there's so many people who are doing podcasts now. Like they joke about the fact that there's more podcasts than people on the planet, right? Like that's how many
Yeah.
podcasts are out there, that people are looking for guests, people are looking for ideas and concepts. So you put yourself out there to do that and just share your ideas. Because I know that's one of my things. That was one of my goals for last year, is to do a lot of podcast appearances. So the year
Okay.
before last, I did a lot of them, and I enjoyed it because um, in this context, I'm asking you the questions, and then it took me a while to adjust to the fact that when I'm on the podcast, that someone's asking me the questions, and they don't want like one word answers. They actually want a story. They want to hear the backstory on things, right? So it took me a while to figure that out, but then to share it, and I recognize that, wait a minute, like I get to really put out there what what my vision is, and they're asking questions because they're interested, right? So as Tammy puts, yes to podcast, you get to capture your ideas in different ways when people ask you different questions, and then listen to them. Like every time, like you do a podcast, every time you do a live like this, go back
Mm.
and watch it and listen to how you synthesize your ideas. It comes out differently every time, and then you start to like focus on different elements of your idea and all those different things. So it helps you to just hear yourself speak on your ideas and your vision, and then it resonates with different people different times. So jump all over those podcast opportunities. Ask for podcast opportunities, as Roxy is saying. Ask for it and see how that helps to just like cement your idea and your vision out there.
Yeah, you need continuous flow of ideas. You need continuous reminders of why your idea is special. And so the way you're doing
Mm-hmm.
it, I think, is an awesome way. I've been watching you doing it, and I've been learning from you. Sorry, man, I've been stealing some of your techniques. Yeah, you didn't know that, but now
Take
you
it,
do.
man. Right. Yes, Roxy's like, ask, period. It's true.
Well, they work. What you're doing is working, but one of the reasons why it's working, I'm gonna like what Roxy says, is your consistency, and then you mentioned endurance earlier. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people want to stick with something. Just stick with for a while, and you'll be surprised.
Okay,
Stick with it.
so
Yeah.
how? How do you stick with it?
How do I stick with it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Every day. Well, okay. So every day I keep a journal. I have probably 5 journals. Here's one of them. I'm at work right now, believe it or not. So this is the one I take with work to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
keep notes on things that go on not only in work but thoughts that I have, ideas I have. Then I
Just
write them
capture
in,
it. Yeah.
and then I do them when I get like a little free time or on my way home. I'll look at it because I want to keep it in front of me, and then I have I've been doing this too. I've been writing on postcards thoughts for the day or Bible verses.
Mm-hmm.
That really helps me. But I think the number one thing is my journal, because I can keep my ideas in front of me and keep bigger vision that God has for me. But
Mm-hmm.
even with that, it's about who I want to become. And that's a person
Yes.
people can always feel like they can talk to, relate to, and not just people, but my family. Be totally just the best human being I can be. Have those kind of goals, and then whatever I get, it's just be blessed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but how do you
That's
do
good.
it? I want to
Well,
know that.
that's my neighbor asked me that how question the other day, and I was literally stumped for a second, um, because he said that he was like, I see you like on like he doesn't follow, but he's like, I see you online, I see how much stuff you're doing, and you're out there all the time. It's like, how do you stay that consistent? I do one thing, and then I see this over here, and I need to work on that, and then I have 2 things on the go, and then I start something else, and I don't finish anything. Like, how do you stay consistent with it? And I was like, I just stay with the things that I'm passionate about. Like I don't put
Yeah,
too many things out there. Like I mean, I just keep like you, like just keep the vision in front of me. Like I'm just trying to stick with 1 or 2 things and just share those 1 or 2 things. So you almost create a sense of accountability around those 1 or 2 things. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
just I don't try and do like 9 things. I mean, I have a lot of stuff on the go, but like the things that I'm really focused on are the things I keep talking about because I want to stay focused. I want to hear myself saying, and I want people to ask me how those things are going. Right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Martin. For me, one of my big hurdles in life for a long time was I was trying to do too much. I really was. Meaning I wanted to be good at this and I wanted to be good at that. And man, God showed me very clearly. Look, I only need you really for one thing, maybe two, and I'll bring everything else
Mhm.
to you from that thing. But
Yes.
you got to get in. You got to get into me so I can show you, who you are.
Yep.
And I was just fighting it, man. Like, oh, you know what? I want to be this and that, and in some ways I was like doing it, but I was kicking my ass. I was wearing myself out, and I wasn't really always a good person to be around because it was stressed.
Yep.
And when you're around a stressful environment or stressful person, you can feel it. And so when I
Mhm.
started seeing that in me, in my personality, I said that's not who I want to be. Something's got to go. I just started
Yeah, yeah,
dropping things that weren't important, started letting go of thoughts that I know weren't serving me. And man, it's interesting because some things just started coming together. People started gravitating towards me, and then
yeah.
when that happened, and I really recognized the way I felt, that I didn't have to try, but now people were being attracted to me by the way I was carrying myself and
Yes.
the consistency that I was walking in what I said I believed in. And I said, dag nabbit, this man,
Hmm.
why
Hmm.
learn this so late? But
I
now,
know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's true. Like you were saying about who do you want to become? Like I love that sense of moving beyond I want to do this or I want to make this amount of money or whatever it is. It's like asking yourself who you want to become and letting the rest of things fall in place and fall in line after that is so key. That was a good point. Like really, really good point with that. Um, and then also what Roxy's saying about parking some ideas and getting to them later. That's where journaling comes in fantastic, right? Because there's just times I just write down like, okay, I'm going to circle back around to that, or I might just give that idea to someone else, or I'm just going to leave it here and it may come back up later or whatever the case is. And like once it's written down, I could literally forget about it and just like move on with my
yeah,
life and then come back to it later, right? So,
right, right. Yeah, writing, and this is what I've learned. So I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm going to give credit to all the pastors and motivational speakers I've been studying for quite some time now. Jim Rome, Tony Robbins, um, Pastor Jake, T.D. Jakes,
yeah,
Miles Monroe,
Miles Monroe.
uh, yeah, Barack Obama. I don't want to get political, but there's
Mhm.
a lot of things I like about what he does. But he's an avid reader and journalist, and
Yes,
it's amazing still when you think about what he's done and how he's done it.
yes.
Let's see, even I'm trying to throw a few out there that people might not think like, whoa, he listens to this guy. Yeah, Earl Nightingale, which was the mentor for Jim Rome.
Okay.
Jim Rome was the mentor for Tony Robbins. All right.
Hmm.
Tony Robbins is the mentor for Eric. What's his name?
Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
Hmm.
So I try to go back and really study each one because each one has a similar theme, but different. And so, again, it goes back to like the seed for greatness of what I'm wanting to build and share with people. And
Yes.
yeah, you know what? Journaling, keeping your ideas fresh, really believing in them to the point where it just becomes a walk now. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I think the, all of that stuff is so good. And if I could just throw one more concept, just like lob one more thing into the dialogue right now, accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, everybody, is we talk about journaling, we talk about ideas, parking ideas, and stuff like that. And I think that the other part of that is once you start running with ideas, who you're surrounding yourself with to keep you accountable to seeing those things come to pass. Who's sharpening your sword? You know what I'm saying? Like who are those people that are keeping you accountable to those things you said you were going to do? So it's not just an idea that's out there, but like that day to day, what's going on with that? Have you talked to many people about that? You were talking about that. Did you ask anyone for a podcast yet? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that piece, that's the piece that excites me. even when I drop the ball, I like the fact you'd be like, you caught me on that. Okay, I'll be on that today. Thank you. You like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that.
Yeah, I have a couple of accountability partners. Um, I have one in fitness, and that's Ron Casper, and one of my best friends, Maurice Armstrong. But Ron Casper is the martial artist that you guys have seen a lot of the videos that we've been putting out, and we've been doing that intentionally on purpose to get people's attention and to get them to think and be accountable for themselves and use fitness as a guide to, you know, better themselves as a person for their relationship with themselves and their colleagues and their family members, and build confidence as they walk in life, right? So be tough in life, like don't give in to
Yes.
just when things don't go your way one time, like be willing
Don't
to
just check out.
yeah, just don't check out, right? So those videos are very intentional, and I hope people can take it that way. Like we're literally planting a seed to get people fired up for the right reasons, not just rah rah rah, but get you stimulated, just like you drink coffee.
Yeah.
I have a
Sorry, Stefan, is it Seed for Greatness or Seeds for Greatness? Plural?
seed, yeah, SEED,
Okay.
seed, yeah. And so I have a financial accountability partner, and I have a spiritual, emotional accountability partner. So I got people I need help from. I need help.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, I have my boys, I have my guys that we all have that. You know, we have those real good heart to heart conversation about where we're at and stuff like that. I love that stuff. That's so key. So key.
Who do you rely on, Martin? Because you got a lot of things you're.
Yeah, I'm still. I have a few people that in this whole political realm that I'm kind of feeling out for, like true mentors and people I can be my inner circle. Like I'm still feeling that out. That's a new arena, so those people haven't really fully surfaced yet. But other areas I do have that. What and I have that, whether it's like parenting, being a dad from a spiritual perspective, in business, like I do have like a circle of friends that I like, that my kids also know who they are. They see those people that, like, this is my friend from the last 25 years. My son would be, and another kind of side topic, but my sons would be 19 and 16 and being like, these were my friends when I was your age that I'm still walking with.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the richness of those relationships. So your guys are your guys right now. Those are the guys that were in my wedding. Like those are the guys that I walk with. Those are the guys that I celebrate when they do, whatever it is. Like I have those people, and wow. Hey, side note, it looks like Instagram's going back to an hour cutoff because I just got a 1 minute 50-second
Oh,
remaining.
Okay.
I didn't realize that they did that. I don't know if anyone else knew that, but like,
Yeah. No problem.
I'll just be cool about the fact that we have 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and I'll jump off. Can you real quick? Do you got what besides your pop up in person? Anything going on online? Anything like on your lives this week?
Yeah, look out for our new clothing line that we're going to roll out, and I'm going to attach it to a fundraiser for a nonprofit. I'm not sure which one exactly, but someone's going to benefit from you buying clothing from us.
Cool.
So we'll let you guys know. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. All right, thank you, Stefan, as always, man. Like, thanks for jumping in. I love the fact that you can just jump in. We can just bounce ideas off each other. So
awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, Martin.
Thank you. You too, man. All right. All right, everybody. I'm gonna jump off here because apparently I have 40 seconds left. But thank you, Roxy, for the thought flow for today. Plies Carey, appreciate your comments about letting your light shine. And Tammy, earlier, appreciate all of you coming in here. Seed for Greatness from right around the block. Give me a shout out. And that is about it. Oh yes, Lisa and Amit. Thank you so much, and Healthy by You, for all you guys jump in today. And Michael Lambie is my guest tomorrow. We have an interior decorator, interior designer tomorrow. Different flow. Check it out. See you guys. Have a great day.